Hello, all you lovely people, and welcome to my very first gaming review on my channel. Now, this is a new channel that I've started off called Punchi Gaming, and I welcome you all to join me on this journey where I talk about games. Now, I could be talking about gameplays, I could be talking about reviews, or even unboxing some gaming products. So, this channel is dedicated completely to gaming. I do have another channel as well which originally had started off as a gaming channel, but it took a different trajectory and I ended up making a lot of tech videos on that channel. So I do want to take this opportunity to start anew and start this channel here. And I would greatly appreciate it if you could help me in my journey by clicking on that like and subscribe button if you really enjoyed that content. So with that said, today I'm going to be reviewing Atlas Fallen. Now this is a game which has recently dropped onto your PCs, your PlayStation consoles, and also on your Xbox Series X and S. Now, this is an action role-playing game, and it's developed by Deck13 Interactive, that is, and it's published by Focus Interactive Entertainment. And it was released, as I said, on all the major consoles and even on the PC. I have been playing this game on my PC. I'm going to be talking about the settings, I'm going to be talking about the combat, the characters, the world, and my experience overall with this game. So kindly stick around till the end of this video and I'll let you know whether it is worth buying while it's out for around $50. It's not a very expensive game because it's not a triple A title, it's actually a double A title, and we're going to talk about that in this video. Now, as far as the setting of the game goes, let me give you a quick introduction to the game itself. Now, the game is set in this post-apocalyptic world where the sands of the desert have risen up so much and it's swallowed most of the land. So you hardly see any water. And you play as this custom character that you build right from the start. And you want to stop the sands from spreading. So along the way, you're going to be battling a lot of creatures, a lot of monsters, so to speak. And you're going to explore vast ruins and also uncover the secrets of the past. What do I mean by that? I'm going to talk about it in the narrative section of this video. With that said, let's get started, folks. Okay, I want to start off by talking about the combat of this game because this is really the heart of the game. And it's one of the biggest positives that this game has working in its favor. Now, the combat is really fast paced. It's fun as well. You can use a variety of weapons and abilities to take down your enemies, including melee attacks, ranged attacks, and also some really cool sand powered abilities. Now, what do I mean by that? If you are familiar with Sub-Zero from the Mortal Kombat games, then it kind of works like that. You freeze yourself, and then whenever an enemy attacks you, the enemy also is frozen. I mean, it's like you are converting that enemy into this sand statue, you can say. So you can also use your momentum, and that plays a big part as well because most of the times you're going to find yourself sand surfing, and it's really cool. So you can use your momentum to increase your damage as well. I mean, that's speed plus when you keep going, when you keep attacking an enemy without taking any damage, this momentum that I was talking about keeps building up. And as it keeps building up, the weapon of yours, it also becomes more and more powerful. Your attacks become more and more powerful. So you can also unlock special powerful moves, so to speak. And the combat for most of it is really challenging and it's very rewarding, it's satisfying. So the combat is really what makes this game special because there's something for everyone. What do I mean by that? Now, if you just want to hack and slash your way through the game, well, you can do that. On the other end of the spectrum, if you really want to take your time and understand how these melee and ranged attacks work, you can crank up the difficulty a notch. And then I wouldn't exactly call it a Dark Soul-esque kind of an experience. But yes, when you crank that difficulty up, the combat becomes way more challenging. So there are different strokes for different folks. Whatever works for you, I mean, it works for you. I found myself playing this game on the easiest mode because, hey, I've also got to make sure that I complete the game and give you my experience. I've still not completed this. I'm recording this midway, by the way, but these are my initial impressions. So you can call this a halfway through review. And then there are elements like evading and your sand abilities that I was talking about. So you can evade, you can move around very quickly. Now, if you've played Final Fantasy 16, which came off just, I believe, a month back, so even in that, when you change into your Ifrit avatar, you can really slide your way around. Now, these sand surfing abilities are kind of similar to that. And it also reminds me of a game that I don't want to remember, but hey, it does remind me of Forspoken as well. So if you've played Forspoken, then you would know exactly what I'm talking about, because these sand surfing abilities, as cool as they really help you with the traversal, and you can cover a lot of ground while you're sand surfing. And if that's not enough, well, there is fast travel as well. So if you're bored of sand surfing along these vast, arid, deserted lands, then you can fast travel as well. Now, when it comes to the combat, coming back to the combat again, timing is really crucial, because it's very important that you hit the button at the right time, even when you want to use those sand powered abilities. So if you don't hit the button at the right time, then the enemy is going to be able to attack you. So timing is crucial here, and that's going to define how you're going to end up, dead or alive, that is. Now, we've spoken about the combat system. Let's move over to the customization bits and talk about that as well a little. Well, the customization is, I would say, an okay-ish system. Now, you can obviously build your character, but this is no Baldur's Gate 3, or this is no, you could say, game where customization is key or it's the primary concern or thing on the developer's mind. It's just serviceable. So as far as the customization goes, it's okay. Nothing extraordinary here. You can choose from a variety of weapons. You also have armors. You have your abilities, and you can also upgrade your character's stats. So that's as far as customization goes. And customization does play a crucial role in how you're going to be progressing in the game, because every once in a while you need to upgrade your armor. You need to make sure that you're also playing around with those abilities. Now, you begin the game with a couple of, you could say, melee attack weapons, and then for ranged attack, there's this cool sand powered punch as well. So there is a melee attack axe kind of a thing, and there's like this scythe kind of a thing that you can use for ranged attacks as well. It again reminded me of Scorpion, because you can hook somebody and then you can just take yourself there and hit the enemy. So it does remind me of Scorpion and Sub-Zero from the Mortal Kombat franchise. So the customization is also cool, and not that cool though. It's there, it's serviceable. And when I say customization after you have started your game, not the character edit screen, because that's kind of a bummer. I mean, it's just there, it's okay, and I'm hardly going to talk about that. But when I say customization, I mean how do you progress in the game by upgrading your abilities, by upgrading your weapon, your gear, and also your stats. So that's really well done. Again, it ties into that entire combat thingy, and combat is really the heart of this game. Let's quickly talk about the world of Atlas Fallen as well. Now, this is definitely a vast and, I would say, an interesting world to explore. There are many different locations to discover, and each with its own unique challenges and rewards. So I would say the world is also filled with a lot of secrets to uncover, and there are a lot of side quests that you will find along your way. So this game is going to keep you busy, and I think you can easily squeeze out at least 30 to 40 hours of gameplay from this game. So the world is that big. Of course, you cannot expect something like Assassin's Creed Origins or Odyssey, which can give you like 120, 150 hours of gameplay. But I think 30 to 40 hours is something that can definitely be juiced out of this game. If you're moving around aimlessly, then it's going to be boring. But here, what Atlas Fallen does successfully is, even when you're sand surfing, even when there's no population, like no village or no people around, there's still monsters around. So every now and then, I think every 6 or 10 seconds, you are going to come around some monster or the other, and you can choose to battle them or simply just move away. And this world, I would say, is interesting enough, but could they have done better? I think they could have done better. The map system could have been better, and I think they could have still implemented more action points which connected to the story. So here, when you're traversing this world, there are a lot of things that you can do even without the story. Now, some people may enjoy this. I personally don't. I personally prefer games which have a purpose. If you're doing a side quest, if you're engaging in a combat, if you're slaying monsters, there has to be a purpose behind that, and there's something that I need to get out of it. Here, you can just go on a like this monster spree and just monster killing spree, that is, and just kill monsters without any purpose. So it's both a plus and a minus. It depends really on what kind of a player you are. For me, that didn't really work. So I think story attached quests or story attached exploration would have been comparatively better, and it would have just made this world a lot more immersive. The world design is good, but it could have definitely been more immersive, which I found missing in this game. Let's talk about the characters as well, or the lack thereof. Why do I say that? Well, they're just there to service the game. You start off by making this character, which is a custom character, but very few customization edits that you can do. And I personally did not enjoy the protagonist, whether you go along with a he or a she. It depends. You can choose a male or a female character, but too generic does not really bring anything to the table. And plus, there's not a great backstory to this protagonist, so you're not invested in this protagonist. For instance, if you're playing games like God of War, as an example, Kratos, man, what a protagonist. I know it's not really a great comparison here, but I'm just trying to give you some kind of a context. A protagonist who has a good backstory, a protagonist whom you can relate with, you're going to have yourself more invested in the game. Here, I think that's one of the biggest negatives this game has. The story, the narrative elements don't really work in its favor. So you don't get attached to your protagonist a lot. And it's not just the protagonist, but even the other characters in the world, I think they were too bland. First of all, there's this kind of a disconnect because the voice acting is great. So you really have some good voice performances, but it's let down by bland character animation, whether it's your facial animation or whether it's your body animation. They're not animated enough, I would say. You see, when you have an RPG, even if you take Assassin's Creed franchise again, when you're talking to these NPCs are animated. They're moving around. I mean, they're moving their arms, they're moving their head, their eyeballs roll as well, and they have expressions on their faces as well. Here, you would find yourself coming across characters who are not even in sync with what is being told as far as the dialogues go. So the lip sync, well, it does not really work here. And apart from that, sometimes you just find characters who are just like standing like this. That's about it, like a statue. So that didn't really work for me. So the characters in this game, you can't connect with them because although they're good voice performances, I would say the lip syncing, the character animations, whether it's the body animations or the facial animations, they don't work and they let this game down. I understand that this is a AA title, this is not a AAA title, but I think if they would have gone an extra distance, it would have made a huge difference to how this game would have turned out. So I was kind of let down with the characters in the game. Now, there is a co-op multiplayer mode as well. So it does feature a co-op mode. And the best part is that you can actually use this co-op mode even when you're playing the story campaign. So that's something unique. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to get my hands on this co-op mode. When I say get my hands, is I could not really play in the co-op mode. So I can't comment much on it. But hey, all I want to say is that this mode exists. So the more modes, the merrier, I would say. That's all I can say when it comes to the co-op multiplayer mode. It is there. Maybe when I do get a chance to play this in co-op multiplayer, I can probably come back and share my experiences in a pinned comment. But right now, all I would say is, hey, the mode is there, so take advantage of it. So finally, let's bring it all together. What do I think of Atlas Fallen? I would say this is a good RPG, and it does have a lot to offer in terms of the combat, but is let down by its story, the characters, and the attention to detail. I would say the combat is definitely the heart of the game because it is fast paced, it is fun. The customization system is okay. The reason why I'm saying it's okay is because the character edit screen's bad, but the in-game customizations in terms of gear, in terms of abilities, in terms of upgrades, they're great, by the way. And the world is definitely big, it's vast, and it is interesting to explore, as I've already covered in this video. There's even a co-op multiplayer mode which I didn't get to try out, but it's there. Speaking of multiplayer mode, in the story mode, it just reminded me of the story. So I do want to say that that is a bit of a letdown because number one, the characters are dull, they're not animated enough. The graphics also, I do want to touch upon this, although the world looks fantastic, but if you take a look at the character themselves, they come across as really bland characters. I mean, the costumes to the armor, I didn't see a lot of variety in them. And apart from that, even when it comes to the textures of a few things, like the cloth textures, I think that definitely desires for more to be given to you. So the textures are let down, and of course, these bland characters make the game look dated. So although you have this beautifully designed world, the world looks great, but the characters look meh. So that's why I'm saying the characters look a bit dated. It's mainly because of some texture issues when it comes to the designing, and apart from that, the character themselves are very bland. Overall, what do I think of Atlas Fallen? Now, I would say this is an above average game, and it is worth checking out for sure. If you're looking for a challenging, rewarding action RPG, and you have a few bucks to spare, I think you can invest that money in Atlas Fallen today. But would I recommend that you buy it at full price? Not necessarily. I think I would rather wait for it to appear on a sale, and that is when I would invest my hard earned money. Because don't expect a groundbreaking story or a spectacular RPG here. What is here is above average. And if I really have to rate this game, then I would say I would give it a 6 out of 10. Just about slightly above average. That's for me personally. Now, I enjoy games like God of War, Horizon, Uncharted, Assassin's Creed franchisee. So you understand where I'm coming from. I mean, the context that I'm trying to give here is that I've already experienced those kind of games, and now I'm playing Atlas Fallen. My heart just wants more. That's why I would probably give it a 6 out of 10. But hey, I'm interested to know, what do you think about Atlas Fallen if you have had the opportunity to play this game? Please comment below and let me know in the comments section. Well, it's a wrap for this one. But before I go, again, guys, this is my new gaming channel. I would really appreciate it if you could hit that like and subscribe button if you have enjoyed the content. And it would support me because YouTube algorithm definitely takes your action into consideration and then promotes my videos in the recommended videos when you're surfing YouTube. So please hit that like, subscribe, and also that bell icon in case you want to get notified with all my latest videos. But as far as this video goes, it's a wrap for this one, and I'll see you lovely folks in my next video. Until that time, I'll say take care, stay safe, and may God bless you all.